What is up, everybody? I'm No Lex Given, and today we're going to be taking a look at basically textbook Tiger. I think we get to pick up a goat on the first turn, and then a free roll allows me to lock onto a second one. That's great. We're already picking up some pairs and of a pretty good character as well. So yeah, definitely a nice start to the game. And we're basically going to do classic Celestial Tiger things. I've been playing a lot of Dragon's Nest recently, really enjoying that card. And we're going to grab a double Dragon's Nest on Celestial Tiger, which is obviously extremely powerful. So that's going to be a whole bunch of fun, and we'll see what shenanigans we can get up to once we got that going on. We're basically just going to use our early treasures to grab a lot of tempo, and we're going to use that as flexibility to then mess around and try to do some silly Celestial Tiger things that I love to do. We'll pick up a baby root here as well as a baby dragon, a pair of babies, and then we'll move into this combat up against Zippy the Zombie, undefeated Zippy the Zombie. So could be pretty strong. That could be a pretty scary opponent to have to contend with later on in the lobby, but at least for now, we are going to wind up being almost on the same power level. We wind up taking 3 damage. Not too terrible, all things considered. I'll rip a shard of the Ice Queen because if we could have found a Kitty Cup Purse, that could have been cool to partner up with that. I'm still going to pick up the Kitty Cup Purse because it goes well with the Stag. I could have grabbed Polywoggle. I'm not the biggest fan of Polywoggle on Tiger. I believe I brought that up like a week or so ago. That Tiger is one of those heroes that I'm really not looking to Polywoggle on. I'd much rather just pick up a Black Cat Kitty Cup Purse, because 1, it gives me econ, and 2, it gives me a tier 2 unit, which I can potentially build into a tier 2 treasure. What am I going to do with a tier 4 unit? That does nothing for me. Kitty Cup Purse will get the sleigh, and then we will take a little bit of damage here. We'll take 25. I'll be honest, this is more damage than I would have liked to take at the start of the game, but we do get to triple up on that Kitty Cup Purse, and a double Shepherd Sling +2/+2 to all of my characters. It's definitely going to give me a little bit more power and a little bit more freedom here. I will move Baby Dragon into that front slot and pick up a 3/7 Rainbow Unicorn. Pretty good, especially when it can get pumped up by the Stag. But this is actually like a pretty strong board, I feel like. All of a sudden, we're playing a bunch of Frog Princes effectively. We still have the opportunity to earn some more econ, so I like that as well. And we're not doing great on health, but we will be able to figure it out. We're up against Share Bear this turn. That'll give us some additional cash as well. And looks like Share Bear actually isn't that strong. So we are going to wind up slaying against them, and we will also get that kill and maintain our life total. Here is where we pick up the Dragon's Nest. Pretty straightforward selection as well. Dancing Sword, not nearly as powerful. I almost never take that treasure. And Dragon's Nest going into 4.0, obviously very strong. Big Book of Spells is a treasure that I really like, though I've talked about that before, that on Celestial Tiger, that treasure can actually get a little bit awkward. Yes, you're going to see 3 spells for a while, but eventually those spells are actually going to eat into the space in your shop. So if you wind up just using it to purchase a bunch of XP, it gets a little bit awkward because then you're level 6, but you don't get the full benefit of being level 6 because you don't get to see as many characters as everybody else. There's also an interesting thing on Celestial Tiger that, yes, while buying XP is always nice, I do tend to avoid picking up XP spells on Wonder Waddle and Celestial Tiger, which are both heroes that make use of lower leveled characters. So that is another reason to go for the Dragon's Nest, and here's 2 more reasons to go for Dragon's Nest. We pick up a pair of Lightning Dragons here. Those are going to be extremely powerful. 2011s off the rip. So really good stuff, and I'm feeling confident enough that I'm even going to go for this Forbidden Fruit, which allows me to pick up these River Wish Mermaids right now, and then I will sell off my already paired characters so that way I can hang onto these unicorns, which are a pair. If we could find like a bounty board or something, obviously that gets pretty crazy. We're not quite going to get to those levels in this game, but we are going to do some sweet stuff, trust me. But yeah, definitely want to pick up River Wish Mermaid basically as soon as possible, so that way we can scale these dragons even further and just truly make use of the dragon's nest. But I think this is a pretty strong start to the game. We almost get to, well, we do actually get to crack my opponent's egg basically at the start of the combat there. So really, really strong stuff. We will wind up just barely grabbing a tie so we don't crack my opponent's needle nose daggers, but that could be somebody else's problem. I pick up another baby dragon. We are all dragoned out here. And then I do find the rainbow unicorn pair. That's going to give me some Hermes sandals. And then I will cast this free roll looking for, I mean, we've got 3 pairs on the board right now. So definitely we are pair gaming and probably going to lock on to this River Wish Mermaid. I know that it's not exactly what the tiger ordered, but I think it will be strong for us. We could be in a really bad spot here, by the way, if my opponents are playing Soul Tack. But assuming no Soul Tacks, we are looking really, really strong right now with all of these dragons, and we're going to get in there quickly with the Hermes sandals as well. So this is good. I thought I locked this River Wish Mermaid. Maybe I don't. Okay. Well, I don't hate not doing it either, just continuing to roll for the other pairs that we do have. And turns out my opponent's got a bunch of support characters, so they're kind of going to get owned here from us. And yeah, we'll take out the Sphinx in short order. Sorry, Sphinx. We'll pick up a triple for White Stag, and that finds his treasure map. And like I said, this is textbook tiger. We're finding the treasure map. I typically like to find when playing Celestial Tiger, oh, okay, here is where I go for the River Wish Mermaid, now that it could potentially build into a tier 7 treasure for us. But what I was going to say is that a lot of times when I'm playing Celestial Tiger, I find myself generally hitting that tier 7 treasure when I'm at about 17 or 18 health. I've brought this up before, so I'm ahead of the curve right now. Not that I've already found the tier 7 treasure, but I'm very strong, and that's definitely given us the flexibility to roll for that pretty heavily. Though wasn't looking for it any more than I was looking for dragons or anything else. Certainly would have loved to add a feasting dragon to this board or something like that. I do want to point out the life totals in this lobby. Pretty crazy that it's the Fates on top of me, and then at 23 health, I'm otherwise leading the lobby. So pretty crazy stuff here. We are going to wind up taking a little bit of damage by the looks of it from the Cursed King that's up 2 XP. So we do go down to 15, but that's more right on time for those metrics I was just talking about, grabbing a tier 7 treasure at 15 health. Now I'm just rolling for it. So I'm rolling all the way down, trying to find any dragon or anything, going to wind up picking up this Reckless Wager, and then probably just continue to roll down the rest of the turn, and eventually we'll lock onto this River Wish Mermaid for the next one. Up against Zippy the Zombie yet again. Let's see what they have put together, and it looks like the dragons are here to take it apart. So yeah, pretty great stuff there. They are not going to be Krampus slaying us. We will be almost slaying them. Really, really close one. And then we'll pick up the River Wish Mermaid, and Magic Sword plus 100 is oftentimes a great treasure on Tiger because you grab it on level 5, you can take it alongside this Tweedle, and that's very good. Mirror Mirror, just a very, very powerful treasure, one of the best in the game. But speaking of best in the game, we get World Tree. And one of the crazy things about World Tree here is now all of my characters are dragons. So now all of my characters get plus 10, which is pretty strong. We've got a 12-14 Sporko because it's also a good character. We can put in the Stag. Now the Stag is bigger than these baby dragons. We're still getting first attack, and our ordering of the board winds up being a little bit awkward that we're putting a Tweedle in slot 1 in front of a Stag. And then we've got these dragons. Like, we're really not setting up the stag for success here, but even so, I think this is the best way to order this board, so that way the dragons can keep growing, and that way we can potentially like high roll on that stag attack and have it pump 2 things. And it's not really even that much of a high roll, as it turns out, because the Tweedle's so big that it just never winds up dying. I mean, it does eventually, but it takes a little bit for it to die, which certainly really helps. We'll add a Robin Wood to the board. That's good. That's going to pump up Sporko. And then I do have the option to triple Lightning Dragon here, as well as potentially pick up a Baba Yaga. So a lot of different options. I'm going to go for Deck of Many Things, just for it being a good treasure and this game actually almost being over. This is natural 5.2 and we're in the top 4 right now. And then I am going to look to reorder some of these cards to see if there is a way to get that stag like a little bit more guaranteed attacking. And the unicorn appreciates the Sporko, so I'll put the stag in spot 1, the Tweedle can go in slot 4, Robin Wood still pumping the Sporko because we're using the Sporko to grow the unicorn, otherwise Robin Wood would pump up the unicorn. So all of this looks great. We do have to contend with some dragons from my opponent's side of the board, so it's a little bit sketchy. They are able to take out my Robin Wood there, and then they take out my other dragon eventually. So a little bit awkward how some things work out here, and we will wind up taking a little bit of damage. We go down to 5, and now it is us up against the Fates. And yeah, that Horde Dragon, it was a little bit awkward. It was like a 50-50 combat though, if you take a look, so pretty close one. Just didn't work out in our way. But now we are level 6. So now we just need to find some characters that work with World Tree. And obviously Good Boy is going to be chief among them. Good Boy gets to be a dragon, so it's going to get +5, or +10 rather. Crown of Atlas really not doing too much for us. It would give everything +2/+2, which gives Good Boy +2/+2. That's kind of cute. And then I am going to grab that bounty board. I brought this up earlier. This is certainly late for it. If we could have had that earlier, it would have been absolutely fantastic. But I'm still excited about this because I think that we can still farm and get a little bit of gold. And luckily, our Lightning Dragon is able to dodge the Soul Tack there. So that works out really well. And we're going to grab 4 extra gold this turn. 2 from Lightning Dragon Slay, and then 2 from that Unicorn that was also able to slay. I do think about just using a Queen's Grace to give Good Boy +7/+7. That seems kind of sweet. And then I do also like picking up a pumpkin here. I'll go for a Pigomorph to finish things off. I think that that seems fine. Empress P, pretty good with Good Boy. We're only playing 1 support character at the current time. But we could also play the River Wish Mermaid. That's a support character as well. So I go for this board setup. It's a little bit silly, but also a little bit awkward because like Robin Wood, there's not a great space for that. But ultimately, I think that this is probably good enough. I am probably going to have to change around my board though when we play up against Horde Dragon next turn, because they've got Doom Breaths, so trying to play a support comp against them feels a little bit awkward. I'm locking onto the lucky coin here, and then I'm also going to decide I do want Robin Wood in position 4 because I want to slay. I want to get my bounty board action on, and I want to get some slays in here so that way I can just try to have some extra cash for what I think is going to be the finals next turn. We're going to wind up having 6 extra cash, 4 from Lightning Dragon. Oh no, and then 4 from Empress P as well. And you know what? I think I get confused by that in the real time of the game as well. We don't take out the Cursed King though, so that's crazy. And okay, that's a lot more gold than I thought we were going to get. But regardless, I'm not complaining. We get a ton of gold. Pretty sweet stuff. Oni Tyrant to pump up Good Boy seems sweet. That'll give us a bunch more stats. Ashwood Elm to pump up Good Boy also seems sweet, but I guess I don't go for that. That one's interesting. I think that I probably could have, probably should have, but either way, I'll wind up continuing to roll here. And I guess I'll be honest, I don't fully remember the end of the game, but I'm starting to feel like I'm just hoping that this Horde Dragon is no longer playing Doom Breaths, which is a strategy. We can see how it works. And then I am going to wind up casting this spell here in the last second and hoping that that helps us out a little bit. It takes out the Boom Hilda, which is nice, and then Doom Breath is going to fully wreck my Empress P. So that did not work. I don't know what I was thinking there. That one did not work, but we potentially still have the stats to take my opponent out. All of my characters that are resummoned out of this pumpkin are going to get that +10/+10 as well. So that is really great. We are able to get the kill there. Empress P was certainly a risk. But still we had 99% chance to win, so I'll take it. And then I think I'll take another pumpkin here as well. That seems pretty good. Could have cast that Merlin's Test on the good boy. I don't think that would have been too crazy. But unfortunately, we can't really play the pumpkin here. If we pick up this pumpkin, then we'd have to play down a unit, which is also bad with pumpkin. So not going to do that. I am going to move pumpkin to the front line and Oni Tyrant to the back, split those two up a little bit, and give a little bit more protection for our Oni Tyrant. I think that this seems sweet. And yeah, we'll see how this one goes. We are up against this Cursed King yet again, just played up against them. So let's see how much they've added to their board. And they go all in protecting that Soul Tack, which is cute, but eventually that Soul Tack is going to go down and our board is going to get buffed by the good boy. So looks like we will be able to take it here. We take out their Echo Wood. We just have to contend with whatever this is, and it is a Court Wizard. So that'll take a second to get done, but we will be able to take that out as well and find the win. Pretty classic Celestial Tiger game that gets pretty silly by the end of it. Yeah, I guess I was missing something. I thought I was going to mess up that bounty board math, but bounty board is just insane on Celestial Tiger. So yeah, that winds up being pretty great for us. Doubled our gold in that one turn, so pretty good stuff. But otherwise, just I don't know, a really fun one. I've never had this specific combination of treasures before, and turns out giving all of your characters +10/+10 with Dragon's Nest and World Tree on Celestial Tiger, pretty good. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.